First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
We were talking about the craziness that happened on that flight that was headed to Atlanta on Delta and had to be diverted to Oklahoma City. Why? Because of an unruly passenger. The passenger was going nuts. I probably shouldn't say it that way, right? Very insensitive. But it was crazy, and it turns out it was an off-duty flight attendant. The stress had apparently just gotten them to the point where they were going crazy. Jay is our resident flight attendant that keeps us on top of everything going out there in terms of flying and people getting back into the air. Jay, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. How are you?
I hope your ears weren't ringing. Andrew was wondering if that was you that was going
he had just had it.
ballistic on that airplane.
No, that was not me. That would have been interesting, though.
Listen, flight attendants are people, too. We're all human. And sometimes there's a crack in the foundation. And it seems like that happened here. But what I found interesting was when the pilot said, "Please, everyone, would all men who are strong come to the front of the plane? We have an unruly passenger." And is that protocol? Is that how it's handled?
Yeah, after 9/11, the flight deck is locked and loaded, so to speak. There are some pilots who are FFDOs, which are Federal Flight Deck Officers, which means they're allowed to carry a gun and have gone through training. And there's four things of passenger conduct. First is disruptive behavior, life-threatening behavior, and attempted or actual breach of the flight deck. Okay, so actually the flight attendant really is the first defense of an unruly or up to a passenger that's really trying to get into the flight deck, which this flight attendant apparently tried to do. He did have mental issues, so you can get into, employer-employee that has those issues, and what do you do? He was non-revving, and something happened.
Yeah, I want to play the audio so people know, and you'll hear the pilot asking for assistance here.
We'd like all strong males to the front of the aircraft to handle the problem passenger.
Everyone was completely shaken up. They were screaming. People thought, when they said the oxygen mask, people thought our plane was, going down. It was extremely scary.
So the oxygen mask, Jay, automatically come down when there's a problem?
Well, they can from the flight deck, yes.
Okay.
But generally speaking, if there is a decompression. But apparently what was happening is that the pilots in the flight deck are able to hit a button and let the oxygen mask come down.
I wonder if they just kind of thought that, this might calm everybody down or actually quiet everybody down. They're going to think that there's beyond what's going on in the plane, there might be some sort of a reason to sit in your seat and put that oxygen mask on.
Yeah, I think that just makes people panic more. Oh, my God, the plane's going down!
That's like what at that, remember I used to DJ at a bar, and when people would get unruly at the end of the night and they'd fight, Rocky Fiato at Studio 30 and Herkimer would play We Are the World. He'd just play We Are the World. It calms everybody down. And it did. Yeah, but it was like dropping the oxygen masks.
So, Jay, you used a term before Bill played the audio cut of unrevving. What do you mean by that?
No, non-revving. In other words, I'm a flight attendant. I don't pay for my ticket. I call an 800 number myself, and if it's space available, I get on like I did yesterday, commuting home from LaGuardia to Syracuse. And for the first time, there were open seats from LaGuardia to Syracuse, more open seats than from New York to Palm Beach, New York to Key West. Like I've been telling you, it's easier to get to Florida than it is to get to Syracuse.
Wow. So do you feel like the traffic is definitely not back to where it was, but it does seem to be, at least everybody's talking about how they're going to be flying again, people I talk to.
Yeah, actually, the flights have been much fuller, and you can see in the airports that there are a lot more people, a lot more passengers.
What are your thoughts on the on Southwest? I realize it's a competing airline, but Southwest deciding that they are going to include Syracuse as part of their flight plan.
Well, that will be great because I'll have benefits on Southwest.
Okay.
So, anything that a new airline, when I say new airline, a major airline, mainline like U.S. Airways, which is now American, Delta, United, now Southwest, that'll be great.
So, are you when you say you pick up a non-revving flight? I don't know if I say that correctly, but so basically you hop on a plane to commute home. Can you use? Are there affiliated airlines? Or do you have to use just your own airline?
Oh, no, that's the great thing about being a flight attendant with Republic Airways. We fly for American, Delta, and United, so we have benefits on all those airlines, and there's the inter-airline agreements that I can fly on JetBlue as well, Southwest, Allegiant, those smaller airlines that even fly out of Syracuse. I have reciprocal agreements because Republic Airways is actually partially owned by American, Delta, and United after our bankruptcy, and we have, again, reciprocal agreements with JetBlue,
all right,
Southwest, and others.
I think it's it feels like we are coming back. It's slow, and I imagine when it comes to flights for a lot of people, if it's vacations, it's going to be slow because you might be planning a vacation for after school gets out or for July or August in the summertime. My guess is those flights to Florida are going to be very, very busy come post end of June. Just so July.
Yeah, they
and
are
August.
now actually. Yeah. The lines to Orlando for Disney World they wrap around the corner at the airport when they're calling the the flight number to be boarded.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting stuff, Jay. We appreciate the update. Thanks, man.
All right. Have a great day. Good to hear from you guys.
Yeah, good to hear from you. Thanks so much. Jay has been keeping us up to date on the world of flying since COVID started, when he would be on a plane with almost no one. In fact, I think, did he say that there was one? There were a few stories where one person was on the plane. They had one passenger. But I think he talked about how, in some cases, there were no passengers. Or maybe that's not true. Maybe it was one passenger, and they still flew the flight.
That is wild. I would be surprised if they went with no passengers. Why would you even waste the fuel and the time?
You're right. That's what, in the middle of saying that, I'm like, well, that can't be true.
Well, one of the best stories that he told us was the guy who bought 16 seats for himself so that he wasn't around anybody.
He wouldn't be around people. Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting.